What's going on, everybody? Varric here. So after the video yesterday, I did realize that I really am not showing another option of the Act 3 Mercenary. I do think the next best option, or maybe even the better option, is going to be the Act 3 Holy Shock Mercenary. So I want to do the same thing as last time, really just show you any changes in the gear. I did switch it up a little bit, and then we'll just run through a map, and I'll kind of discuss pros and cons of both, why I think this might be the better mercenary of the two. So let's check it out. All right, so let's get into this real quick. I'll just show you the gear real fast and show you what I've changed. So if you want more of a breakdown, you can go into my last video. I'll post it in the comments, but still using destruction, right? So we're still getting that molten boulder, meteor, frost nova, procs, innocence, which is the center of the build, giving you that blade shield, exile, which can give you decrepify on striking from the blade shield, and defiance aura. Board Travs, just for some extra magic find. Got a nice slam on these. String of Ears. So the faster cast rate is going to be helpful here. It's going to be needed because we have a 30 faster cast rate Occultist and a 25 faster cast rate Griffins. So without String of Ears, we're not hitting that next breakpoint. You can see it goes to 58 after I put the String of Ears on. So the faster cast breakpoint is going to be more important for this guy because he is going to be casting static shock. So we want him to be casting that as much as possible. So as much fast cast rate as you could fit in while still utilizing all these innocence and on-striking things is important. I will make mention, yes, I'm no longer using ferocity. I did not really find the taunt to be necessary. This is the map we're going to do, by the way. I didn't really find the taunt to be necessary. I think if once you're proccing Frost Nova and Decrepify almost all the time, you don't really need that extra defensiveness from a taunt. So let's get into this map and let's see what it can do. And I talked about, at the end of the last video, I talked about uptime, right? So the Cleansing Mercenary, I think his uptime, when you think about it, is low, right? Because he's only really going to be beneficial to you when you're jumping into big packs. So if you're not jumping into big packs, if you're fighting bosses, if you're trying to like kill smaller packs, go after a quick straggler, you're really not getting benefit from him. Whereas the uptime of the Act 3 Holy Shock Mercenary is going to be a lot better because he's still casting good abilities, right? He's casting Static Shock. He's got a pretty sweet Lightning he's casting. So he's going to help you out with bosses. I actually find his damage to be pretty comparable to the Act 4 Mercenary as far as like helping with bosses go. So I see bosses get chunked down pretty good by this Mercenary. So you can see his mastery is very high, right? It's almost 900. So he's helping you out pretty darn good. Whereas the mastery of the Cleansing Mercenary was only down to, I think, like 300, right? So almost 600 more mastery. So these lightning bolts are gonna be doing some good damage. So you can kind of see when I jump into these big packs, I'm still doing all the procs. He's still helping me out there. He's still slowing down mobs. He's still decrepifying. That level 45 meteor is still no joke. I mean, it's still doing some good damage, and it's getting amplified because we have decrepify, right? So that decrepify is giving us a little bit of physical pierce. Meteor has physical damage to it, so you're still getting help there. And of course, the decrepify is still helping you explode corpses, right? Because your corpse explosion from sacrifice has physical damage component to it. Yeah, so he's getting help. I don't really think there is a better. I don't really think there's a better version or better weapon that you could use for him. I mean, sure, you could probably always mix in an aura or something to use, but as far as procs go, there's really not. Once they removed War Strike from the loot table or from the table of gear that Act 3 Mercenaries can use, that kind of killed it, right? So there's not really a better proccing item for lightning damage in particular. I mean, there's like Crescent Moon. There's like more weapons that can proc more statics. So like, yeah, maybe you're getting more statics, but I find him to be staticking just plenty. I don't really need more. And I think the I think the damage you're getting from the meteor, and I think the slow you're getting from the Frost Nova are more important here than maybe another static. Just telling my buddy I'm doing a video. So yeah. Anyway, he's I think he's helping you out as best he can, and I think the uptime is as best as it can be. So I think that's why it's beneficial for him. We got a Gheed Event. Let's go check it out. We're gonna get a Sacred Armor. Nope. Let's do that real quick, just so you guys can check out our Gheed Event. See how it goes. By the way, for your Gheed Event, you want to make sure you have an Edge bow. So Edge is going to give you very good reduced vendor prices, so down to 15. And then I always throw on a 15% Gheed's charm. And then I was actually lucky enough to get this Kadala's, so more 6%. It's a nice one. Nope. Nope. Bone Flame, I don't really care about these two. Magic Find. No thanks. Alright. Thank you for joining me on that wonderful journey of a terrible Gheeds. Let's get back into it. Alright, so talking about auras, you do lose Cleansing Aura, of course, with not using the Fire Mercenary. That's a bummer for sure. So I think there's still reasons to use the other mercenary. You know, I think Holy Shock is not that good. I mean, it's still giving you just a little bit more damage in a wide area. So sure, again, the more we can whittle down these mobs so that we can jump into them and sacrifice them and do a big corpse explosion, the better. But I think cleansing is probably benefiting you more, and you know, especially if you're getting cursed, poisoned, whatever. So again, options for both, you know, reasons to use both. But I think when it comes to an overall like uptime and help for you, I think this is going to be the best one, the best option. I think it's kind of the best of both worlds as far as this goes. This is a pretty big map, so we're just working through it. And I'm trying not to waste too much time on stragglers. So yeah, I don't really think I had anything else to go over. Again, I think there's reasons to play both. And if you want to continue with the Act 4 Mercenary, then yeah, go for it. So there's always options. Why I like this build so much. You're a powerhouse with your Sanctuary Aura. You're doing just fine. You're doing plenty of damage. So it's really just like, how do I want to fit in a Mercenary? What auras do I want to use? Do I want to maximize more damage? Do I want to maximize more defensiveness? So there's plenty of options. There's plenty of ways to build it. So I like that about it. I think we're coming up on the end of this map here. So yep, as usual, guys, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, feel free to mention it in the chat. Last thing I will talk about is the Prayer Mercenary. So, right, can't really mention the two without talking about Prayer. I don't want to leave him out. I'm not going to try him. I really don't think he's doing much more for you. The Frost Nova you're getting from Destruction is not that good. It's only 35. And I think there's just way more that you're getting from the other two mercenaries that he's not giving you. I mean, yeah, cheaper budget option could be like using Dragoons. There's a set item that casts a level 31 Frost Shock or Frost Nova. I mean, if you're gonna use Innocence, it means you got the funds for better gear. And I don't think the level 31 Frost Nova is really doing you much. So I wouldn't call that a thing. Prayer is obviously nice, but I don't really find prayer to be that useful, especially if you got Drax gloves. So again, if you have innocence, you probably have the ability to get Drax gloves because they're relatively cheap if you find a bad slam. So yeah, I don't really think the cold mercenary is going to be benefiting you. Um, so I wouldn't really go for it. I think the order in which I'm gonna rank these is Holy Shock, Cleansing, and Prayer. And obviously Act 4 Light is going to fit in somewhere in there, probably in between Holy Shock and Cleansing. But yeah, that's going to be my ranking of the Mercenaries. I'm going to say this is the best one because it's got giving the most all around stuff, and then kind of a toss up between Act 4 and Act 3 Cleansing. So that's how I would say. So, anyways, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Questions, comments, again, as always, please leave it in the comments. And if you enjoy my videos, please go ahead and like and subscribe. I always appreciate the support. So that's it, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Later.